You feel it in the quiet moments, don't you? That unmistakable pull, like gravity drawing together two souls who were meant to find each other. The angels whisper of a divine appointment that was written long before either of you took your first breath. This connection isn't random, beautiful soul. It's sacred territory. He carries your essence in ways that terrify him. You walked into his world, and suddenly everything he thought he knew about love became too small, too limiting. The angels reveal that your presence awakened something dormant in his spirit, a recognition so profound it shook the very foundation of who he believed himself to be. This man sees in you what he's been searching for his entire life, yet never dared to name. You embody the missing piece of his soul's puzzle, the answer to the prayers he whispered in the darkness. But here's what the angels want you to understand. He's fighting this recognition with everything he has. Your light exposed parts of his heart that he'd kept locked away. You didn't try to do this. You simply existed in your authentic power, and that alone was enough to crack open walls he'd spent years building. The divine chose you to be his mirror, his awakening, his path back to love. He knows you're different. He knows this connection transcends anything he's experienced. And that knowledge both thrills and terrifies him in equal measure. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. His heart carries scars you've never seen, wounds that taught him love was dangerous territory. The angels show me a man who learned early that opening his heart meant risking everything. His peace, his control, his carefully constructed sense of safety. These aren't just emotional barriers, precious one. They're survival mechanisms carved from pain. He watches you love so freely and fearlessly, feeling a mix of envy for your courage and a desire to pull away from it. Your openness reminds him of his own ability to feel deeply, which terrifies him more than any external threat ever could. He has spent years convincing himself that keeping emotional distance equals strength. The divine reveals that his past has taught him harsh lessons about vulnerability. Someone he trusted completely shattered his faith in the safety of love. In those dark moments, he made promises to himself, not to let anyone have the power to hurt him from the inside out again. Your presence challenges every one of those protective vows. He recognizes the depth of his feelings for you, and it overwhelms him. This isn't the superficial attraction he has grown comfortable with. This is a soul-level connection, the kind that demands complete surrender and total trust. It requires him to dismantle every wall he has built. The angels whisper that his withdrawal isn't rejection, it's self-preservation. He's not running from you, beautiful soul. He's running from the intensity of his own feelings and the vulnerability that loving you would demand. His heart knows you are safe, but his mind fights against that certainty. Sweet soul, the angels are urgent with this message. Your light is not meant to dim while waiting for his courage to match yours. You cannot pour from an empty vessel, and you cannot love him into wholeness while neglecting your own sacred self. This divine connection requires two whole people, not one person sacrificing their essence for another's healing. The divine orchestrated this connection, yes, but not as a test of your endurance or a measure of your worthiness. You were never meant to carry the burden of his emotional journey on your shoulders. Your role is to remain authentically yourself, radiant, powerful, complete, not to shrink into whatever feels safe for his wounded heart. He needs to witness your self-love just as much as he needs to feel your love for him. The angels reveal that your commitment to your own growth, your own joy, and your own dreams creates a magnetic pull that actually draws him closer to healing. When you honor yourself, you show him what completeness looks like. Stop trying to prove that you're worth choosing. You were already chosen by the universe before this story began. Your value doesn't fluctuate based on his readiness to recognize it. The divine feminine energy you carry is invaluable, and it requires protection, especially from the urge to give it away freely to someone still learning how to receive it. Nurture your own dreams while this unfolds. Tend to your own garden. Love yourself with the same intensity you feel for him. This isn't selfish, it's essential. You cannot guide anyone home if you abandon your own sacred ground. Your very existence holds up a mirror to his soul, and what he sees there both captivates and unsettles him deeply. The angels reveal that you reflect back to him everything he's capable of becoming. The love he could give, the man he could be, the life he could live if he found the courage to step fully into his power. This isn't about perfection, beautiful one. You mirror his potential, his buried dreams, and his authentic self that's been hiding behind layers of protection and compromise. When he looks at you, he sees the fearless way you navigate life, the way you embrace your emotions instead of running from them, and the way you believe in love even after being hurt. He recognizes in you the parts of himself he sacrificed for safety, the spontaneity he traded for control, the vulnerability he exchanged for emotional armor, and the faith and love he abandoned after being disappointed. You embody everything he convinced himself was naive or dangerous. Your presence compels him to face the disparity between who he is and who he could become. This creates an internal tension that manifests as his push and pull behavior. He's attracted to your light because it awakens his own, yet he hesitates because stepping into that light means acknowledging all the ways he has been living in the shadows. The divine has designed this dynamic intentionally. You're not just his potential partner, you're his catalyst, his invitation to transformation. He can't be around you without being changed because you activate the dormant parts of his spirit. He sees his highest self reflected in your eyes, and that vision both inspires and intimidates him. Something is shifting in his world, and the angels want you to recognize the subtle signs of his awakening. He is beginning to question the patterns he's followed for years. Habits that once felt natural now seem restrictive. You've planted seeds of possibility in his consciousness, and they're starting to sprout in ways he can't ignore. The divine shows me moments when he catches himself thinking differently. He finds himself in familiar situations and suddenly feels the weight of his own limitations. Conversations that used to satisfy him now feel shallow. Relationships that once felt adequate now seem incomplete. You've raised his standards without saying a word. He's starting to notice the emptiness in spaces where connection should exist. The angels reveal that he has been comparing every interaction to the depth he experiences with you. Nothing else quite measures up anymore, and this comparison is creating a beautiful restlessness in his spirit. His sleep patterns have changed. He dreams more vividly now, and sometimes you appear in those dreams as a guide, showing him versions of himself he'd forgotten were possible. He wakes with a longing he can't quite name, a sense that something important is missing from his current reality. The spiritual realm is working overtime to awaken his consciousness. Synchronicities are appearing everywhere, songs that remind him of you, conversations that echo themes from your connection, signs that point him toward the path of authentic love. His logical mind tries to dismiss these as mere coincidences, but his soul knows better. He's beginning to understand that you didn't just enter his life, you awakened it. The angels want you to understand that his pattern of coming close and then pulling away isn't cruelty, it's the rhythm of a soul in transformation. He moves toward you when his heart leads, then retreats when his mind takes control. This dance isn't about you, precious one. It's about the war between his old programming and his emerging truth. Each time he draws near, he feels the power of your connection. The walls around his heart soften, and for beautiful moments, he allows himself to imagine what love could feel like without fear. But then his protective mechanisms kick in, whispering warnings about vulnerability, reminding him of past pain, and convincing him that safety lies in distance. The divine reveals that this isn't a linear journey. Healing rarely moves in straight lines. He takes 2 steps toward love and then 1 step back to familiar ground. He needs time to integrate each new level of openness, to prove to himself that he can be vulnerable without being destroyed. His inconsistency reflects his internal struggle, not his feelings for you. The angels show me that even in his moments of withdrawal, you occupy his thoughts. He thinks of you in quiet moments, wonders about you when he's alone, and feels the magnetic pull of your connection even when he's actively resisting it. This cycling isn't forever. Each time he returns, he comes back a little more open, a little more willing, a little more ready. The divine is using this pattern to gradually expand his capacity for love, to slowly dissolve the barriers that have kept him isolated. Trust the process, beautiful soul. Even his resistance is part of his awakening. Your love carries healing frequencies that work on him even when you're apart, beautiful soul. The angels reveal that genuine love operates beyond the physical realm. It's energy, vibration, and medicine for wounded hearts. Every moment of authentic care you felt for him has been transmitted to his spirit, starting a restoration process he may not even consciously recognize. He's been carrying old wounds that formed infected patterns in his heart. Trust issues became walls. Disappointments turned into cynicism. Rejections led to self-protective isolation. But your love doesn't judge these damaged places. It simply flows around them like water around stones, gradually wearing away their sharp edges. The divine shows me that your energy has been working like a gentle balm on his deepest hurts. You're not trying to force healing or demanding he change. You're just loving him as he is while holding space for who he's becoming. This kind of unconditional presence is a healing experience he's never encountered before. Sometimes healing hurts before it helps. As your love dissolves his protective barriers, old pain rises to the surface. Emotions he buried come back up. Parts of him that he thought were dead begin to stir back to life. This resurrection process can feel overwhelming, which explains some of his resistance. The angels want you to know that every prayer you've whispered for his well-being, every moment you've sent him love in silence, and every time you've chosen compassion over frustration, all of it has been received by his soul. Love never misses its target. Your medicine is working, even when the symptoms suggest otherwise. The divine orchestrates with perfect timing, precious soul, and this sacred connection unfolds according to heavenly rhythms, not human schedules. The angels whisper that every delay has been divinely designed, and every moment of waiting has served a purpose in preparing both your hearts for what's to come. God sees the full tapestry while you see only individual threads. What feels like stagnation is actually preparation. What looks like rejection is actually protection. The universe has been aligning circumstances, healing old wounds, and removing obstacles you couldn't even see. This divine timing serves both of your highest good. The spiritual realm has been working behind the scenes, softening his resistance, opening doorways in his consciousness, and preparing him to receive the love he's always craved but never believed he deserved. Angels have been whispering truth into his spirit during his quiet moments, planting seeds of courage in his dreams. Trust that every prayer you've offered has been heard and answered, though not always in ways your mind expected. The Most High has been weaving together a love story that serves both of your soul's evolution. Divine love stories require divine patience because they're built to last beyond this lifetime. The angels reveal that breakthrough moments are approaching. All the internal work, all the spiritual preparation, and all the careful orchestration are building toward a moment when his heart will no longer be able to resist the truth of what you share together. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. Heaven's timing is always perfect. Beneath all his walls and protective mechanisms lies a heart that yearns to love fully, and the angels want you to see the tender truth of his deepest fear. He's not terrified of loving you, but of needing you. He's afraid not of your rejection, but of his own ability to be completely undone by love. This man has spent years convincing himself that independence equals strength, that needing no one means never facing disappointment. But you've awakened a longing so deep it threatens every narrative he's built around safety and control. He wants to surrender to what you offer, but for him, surrender feels like death to the parts of him that have survived by staying guarded. The divine reveals that his greatest fear isn't that you'll leave, it's that you'll stay and he'll have to show you all the broken pieces he's been hiding. He's convinced that if you truly knew his struggles, his insecurities, and his moments of weakness, you'd see him as unworthy of the love you embody. He observes how gracefully you handle your own emotions and wonders if he could ever match that authenticity. Your comfort with vulnerability highlights his own discomfort with it. He wants to be the man who deserves your openness, but he's not sure he knows how to be that person yet. The angels whisper that every time he pulls away, Part of him is screaming to come closer. His resistance isn't indifference. It's the sound of a heart breaking open, expanding beyond its comfort zone, and learning to trust again, despite every instinct that warns against it. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34 verse 18. Release your grip on how this love story should unfold, beautiful soul, and trust that what belongs to you will find its way home without force or manipulation. The angels sing of a divine truth. Authentic love never requires you to chase, convince, or compromise your essence to be chosen. What's meant for you flows naturally, even through temporary obstacles. The Most High has written this connection in the stars long before either of you understood its significance. If this love is ordained by heaven, no human fear can ultimately prevent it. If it serves your highest good, the entire universe conspires to make it manifest. If it honors the growth of both your souls, divine timing will align every element perfectly. But precious one, your peace cannot depend on his readiness. Your joy cannot wait for his courage. Your wholeness cannot hinge on his healing. The divine calls you to love from fullness, not emptiness. To give from abundance, not desperation. To trust from faith, not fear. The angels reveal that sometimes the greatest act of love is complete surrender, releasing someone to their own journey while remaining open to whatever unfolds. This isn't giving up. This is giving over to something greater than human will. If he's truly your divine match, his heart will eventually align with heaven's plan. If he's not, the universe will redirect you toward something even more beautiful. Either way, you're protected. Either way, you're loved. Either way, you're exactly where you need to be. Trust the divine design, sweet soul. Love always finds a way, even when the path isn't what we expected. Your happy ending is guaranteed. It just might look different than you imagined.